Hey guys, I'm Liam, this is Mike, this is Two Beards, One Chat. So we're back again with episode 3, I guess, with the green screen, but
Yes.
4 in total. I'm not really counting the first one.
That's right. Yeah, you got it right. Well done.
Yeah, I'm not really counting the first one because we got told off for the tea towel.
The tea towel.
So we're back recording yet again another episode of our Two Beards One Chat, and this is kind of a special. So although they're structured, there'll still be a bit of structure, but predominantly this time we're going to be talking about No Retreat 7, which is what I've just got back from. So we're not going to do my week in the hobby, because that was No Retreat 7, pretty much.
Yeah.
But we'll do yours in a second. We'll probably cover Necron Watch, and then we'll go into.
I think we ought.
I think we should, and then we'll go into the topic. So a bit of channel update type stuff. We have recently started launching podcasts. I don't know if we mentioned that in the last video. I'm going to mention it on the next few videos anyway because it's important. We're now putting all the audio from these on the podcast. So for those of you that don't get to finish it on YouTube or don't want to keep watching it on YouTube, want to take it with you, you'll be able to head to the podcast in a few days' time, download it and listen to it wherever you want.
iTunes, Podbean.
Yeah,
Apple
so it's on Podbean. There'll be a link in the video description below, and we've also got it on iTunes as well.
Yeah.
Another important note on that is we've just started doing dedicated podcasts.
Yeah.
Which actually are a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just easier for us, so we can just sit about on the pants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
shoot in the breeze.
We've now got 2 dedicated podcast episodes up. The first one was literally just sit and chat about whatever.
Yeah.
And the last one, importantly, was covering the recent big FAQ. So
big
by the time this video is out, it will be just under a week old-ish, maybe 3 or 4 days old. And we've got a 2.5-hour podcast covering that FAQ, all the changes to the rulebook errata, and all the main FAQ changes, like the new beta rules, etc.
Yeah. And that's available on YouTube as well.
It is available on YouTube as well. So what I'm also doing, whilst I'm putting these on the podcast, I'm going to be putting the podcast on YouTube. So you can find us everywhere.
That's it. Maximum saturation.
So hopefully it has been well received. If you are interested in the new FAQ and our thoughts on the new FAQ and what's happened, etc., go check that one out.
So at time of filming, which was released yesterday morning, and we've already got like 20, 30 comments.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Sort of a couple of chats going on in the YouTube comments. So yeah, really good.
It's enjoying
the engagement.
Invoked quite a discussion in Discord as well, in the patrons Discord.
Quite controversial.
What we've also got running this month, it started last month, we announced it on Facebook, we've also spoken about it on the podcast, is a Moarhammer competition, which I'm very excited about. So our sponsors at Element Games have supplied us with the new box set for Rogue Trader, thank you. So that's the big box set that includes the Galapox Infected and the Lucidian Star Striders.
Yeah!
I knew you would be looking at me for that one. I knew it. So that's that big box set. We're giving that away. But I say giving it away, it's a bit of a competition. So essentially, there's 2 criteria for that competition. You need to be a patron of the channel at any level, and you need to be subscribed to the podcast. That's it. That's all you've got to do. Yeah. And considering Discord access through Patreon is as little as $2 a month, really, if you really wanted to, you could subscribe for a month, be involved in the competition and leave.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident that if you join that Discord...
Yeah, we said this in the podcast. I think if you come to our Discord and you stay for a bit, you'll stay forever.
Yeah.
We'll have our claws into you.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, if you want that box set, if you want to win something, there's the 2 requirements. It's as simple as that. We won't bang on about it. Right. That's about that, I think. That's good.
Yeah. Admin out of the way.
I suppose fortnight now.
It is nearly 2 weeks, isn't it?
We didn't record a video last week because it was getting close to Gibraltar time, and I needed to keep Mrs. Moarhammer happy.
Indeed. Very important. Very important.
And last night it really cost me.
Yeah.
So we didn't do a video last week, but I did warn early on that we would try and do weekly, but it may be fortnightly, and this is the fortnight. So we've caught it at the last hour.
Just about, yeah. That's it.
So your fortnight in the hobby.
So, actual hobby-wise, I've just been doing scenery mostly. So, I've been making. I spoke about trees last time, I think.
The giant
penises,
trees.
Yeah, the penis trees. They're less phallic than they were. Because I've put a layer of paint on them and a bit more papier-mâché, and done some moulding down the bottom to do like roots and stuff. So they're coming along. I've also done. I had some of these old. Did you ever do the old jungle trees that GW did? Yeah. They're a bit kind of cartoony, bit pants, but I had a couple of sprues of those anyway. So I built those yesterday actually, and I'll do something with them to make them look a little bit less naff. And I'll again use them for some terrain. I've also been adding some spit and polish onto my nids. So I've been painting my Trigon Prime, doing some highlights on that.
Good. Because you've got the bulk of it painted, right?
It's all 3-colour minimum. It's all tabletop, but I say tabletop, it's very basic tabletop for probably about, my 1,000 point list, I need to put spit and polish on 50 termagants and the Trigon. And
you're determined to do that as well before we put them on camera, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's my aim really. So hopefully I'll get them done, and then in the next couple of decades. Yeah. And we might even have them on the channel at some stage.
Yeah, before I die.
Yeah, preferably.
But more importantly than all of that stuff you've done for the fortnight, you had a weekend away as well.
I did as well, yeah. So we'll cover that. So while you were away at No Retreat, a few of us guys from the Discord, we went to Richie's house. He has converted his garage into a kind of hobby dungeon. And it's affectionately
known. It was literally called Dungeon Gaming.
Dungeon Gaming, yeah. So basically, he's kitted out his garage. He's got a really awesome hobby room upstairs. It's got I think it's like an 8x5 table actually.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can put a gaming mat on top of it. Plenty of room. And he's got a good working desk and shelves and all stuff. It's really sweet setup. Really good. So I think there was 7 of us in total, including Richie and myself. So a few of us went up on Friday, stayed over, gaming all day Saturday. A couple of us stayed over on Saturday as well, and then went back on Sunday morning.
That's
so
amazing.
The whole day, and a few guys sort of joined us during the day. So we had lots of fun, lots of games. Yeah, Kill Team, 40k.
And that's one of the things we've noticed about the community through Discord actually, is that there's a lot more get-togethers already, isn't there? There's a lot of people. We've got a map, and you can pin yourself on your location. There's lots of events being organised.
Yeah.
So Richie, bless him, I know we give him some stick, organised Dungeon Gaming at his place for the weekend, which, like you said, was 7 people he hosted, which over the whole weekend, and lots of gaming involved. Yeah. There's awesome stories that have come out of that as well, in some great tales. People had some epic games.
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
And then obviously Richie's also organising with, in conjunction with a guy called The Claw, who you may have seen on Winter's SEO.
Yes.
No Surrender in November.
Yes.
So on the 19th is this? No, the 18th is the Sunday.
18th, yeah, Sunday 18th.
Sunday the 18th of November at Warhammer World. We'll all be there. I'll be there. If you're about in the area, feel free to drop in and say hello.
Oh, please do. Yeah, absolutely.
Saturday evening, Mike and I will be there drinking beer.
Yeah,
so
definitely come and say hi. There's nothing Liam likes more than adoring fans flocking around him.
Exactly.
Throwing their underpants at him.
That's the whole point in doing this.
Yeah,
that's why we're here. Not because of the love for the hobby, just because I like men's underpants. Right, cool.
Factual.
Yeah. So you've been busy.
Yeah, so it was good. I mean, I'd say Dungeon Game was great. Thank you, Richie. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the only thanks you're going to get from us.
That's the nicest it's going to be on camera.
Ever going to be, yeah. And we'll go back to the knob jokes.
Yeah. I got told at No Retreat that they missed, a particular fan that missed knob jokes and battle reports.
Oh, really?
So I was like, majority of people don't like them. Maybe we can chuck a couple
of. It's a pretty niche audience, isn't it?
Yeah. So a guy called Jussi from Finland had a beautiful Harlequins army. He basically said, one of the reasons why I loved Visicast was because of knob jokes.
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay. Can you do more? Winters has told me no.
Well, this is Moarhammer, so we can do knob jokes here.
Oh, of course we can. Yeah. Of course we can.
So the podcasts are a little bit looser and freer with the.
Podcasts inevitably, I say inevitably, they tend to lend themselves a little bit more to just be sort of free-flowing, relaxed chat.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a lot more no-holds-barred, I suppose, to some degree.
Yeah, although still holding quite a lot back, I would say.
Yeah, of course.
They're still clean, don't worry.
I have to keep people liking me.
Yeah.
So the other, I suppose the rest we talk about for the week in the hobby, without going on to my specific last couple of weeks, was the big FAQ that dropped.
Yeah.
As we've said, that's in the podcast. I'm not going to do it to death here because it's already been talked about on Tabletop Tactics as well. We've done it on our podcast. It's been all over the community page. I'm not going to thrash it. There is a lot of upset people. So if you're a competitive player and you haven't seen the FAQ, which I would be surprised, have a read of it because there's some major changes actually that really affect
Yeah.
the way the game's. But I keep looking to see if my microphones fell off like last time.
No, you're fine. No, we're all good.
You're just in the same thing. So yeah, have a look at it because there's some major changes. For example, around the fly keyword and command point farming and stuff. We're not going to dive into it. Like I said, if you are really interested, our previous video and our podcast, which are the same thing, they do cover it in quite a lot of detail actually.
Yeah, we won't go into that now because we'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Because we've 2.5 hours of
and we
chatting
could have done
about
more
easily. And I think if we start talking again, we'll probably do another 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so we're not going to thrash that. But the other important update that we've promised, he's forced me. The other update we have to do every week now, because Winter's told me to, is Necron Watch.
So, Liam, how many Necrons have you painted?
Are we talking about painted
How
or
many
completed?
Necrons have you finished painting?
Well, none.
None.
But...
Still a 0.
But you've seen some updates. I've actually been painting Necrons.
You have been painting Necrons, I will give you that.
Yeah, I gave Winters...
Still waiting for a single Necron to
I
be
gave
finished.
Winters some... Well, the thing is, it's not going to happen, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Ever.
I gave Winters some stick, because I messaged him yesterday going, you are aware I'm becoming known for Necrons. And he went, yep. And I went,
Necron man.
That is not what I wanted. I'm an Eldar fan. He went, we're known for Necrons now, so I think I'm just going to have to embrace it. Because to be fair, I like the rules, I like the model range. So
you're always banging on about them.
Yeah, it's not a massive problem. So what I decided to do, I did also say to him that when I got home from No Retreat, I'd paint Necrons, and of course No Retreats happened, and I got home and went, oh, I made that promise.
Damn it.
So now I'm painting Necrons.
Yeah, he is, yeah. And all joking aside, you have made some good progress.
I've made a lot of progress, actually.
There's a lot less grey.
Yeah, so basically...
It's now a lot more silver.
No Surrender in November. Richie's running that. And the long and short of it is, he's kind of doing like a narrative tournament type thing. So we've only got Sunday at Warhammer World, so it's only about 8 hours gaming.
Yeah, it's quite a short
So
day.
he's running a knockout event of 1,000 points each, quickfire games.
Yeah.
The first 8 games is, 16 people? So 8 games.
16 people, yeah.
And then there'll be 4 games and 2 games and 1 game, obviously. And if we don't get to the last game, then based on what you've scored up to that point, we'll determine first, second, and third. So I love the idea of the quick gaming format for the day. If you get knocked out early, still hang around. We've still got all the tables and play other games and stuff.
And we're at Warhammer World, so if you want to go there and play a full tournament, play the 4 games, you're probably going to spend all day at the table. If you get knocked out, it's not so bad because you get to go look around Warhammer World and spend your pennies on some more plastic.
And Richie's doing it around a narrative type thing. So he's basically built a backstory as to why all these races are rushing to this area to fight. And he wanted relatively even numbers, and I've been a massive pain in the arse.
Huge pain in the backside.
Originally I said I'd do Imperial, only because I was collecting Imperial Knights at the time and I've still got them to paint. And then I've changed my mind because I didn't want to be that guy. And that was partly because of No Retreat, because of No Retreat and Winters. I didn't want to be the person who took a Knight Gallant and 4 Armiger Warglaze to smash all my patrons. I didn't want to be that guy, and I just don't think that's a nice thing to do.
Well, I think you kind of did want to be that guy, but you realised it wouldn't be in your best interests in the long run.
I suppose if we be accurate about it, I always want to be that guy. It's just not. It wasn't the right thing to do.
You love that feeling, the warm feeling inside of crushing your enemies underfoot.
But they're not my enemies. That's the problem. So then I decided I wanted to take Eldar because I went to No Retreat, and actually we've just acquired. If you watch Battle Reports on DZTV, we've just acquired Those That Whisper, which is Rob Not Steve's Eldar Eandan army that he's painted up. We've got that now. That's coming here very soon. And I thought that would be good fun to play some stuff from that army that I've never used before in 8th edition with Eldar, because it's got Avengers and Guardians and Wraith Blades and stuff that I don't use.
And a Cobra.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have taken that to No Surrender, because that's a 500.
Because that's all you'd have taken.
So I wanted to take those, and Richie got very upset, didn't he?
Well, yes. He's been doing a really great job organising it, and you were just being a massive spanner in the works.
But what he did do was he did compromise and say, because I'm not really an Imperial player anyway.
No.
I said, if you're going to take Xenos, and it's because he's helping with Necron Watch, he said, you can take Necrons. And I thought about it, and then I decided I was going to take Necrons. Then I argued with him for another 2 or 3 hours just because I could, and then messaged him privately and went, by the way, I'm planning to take Necrons anyway. So that's why I've got this surge on this 1,000 points of Necrons.
Yeah.
So what I've done in the last day was I've started to wash 10 Immortals. I've started to put blue paint on, washed and put blue paint on 5 Destroyers and on 5 Wraiths. So it's going already. So Necron Watch is happening.
Well, the thing is Necrons are notoriously easy and fast to paint, aren't they?
So I've made a really complicated scheme.
So you've made a really complicated scheme with like several layers of washes. You know, when you could have just literally done spray silver, wash with Nuln Oil, dry brush from Necron Compound.
No, I know.
Done.
No, so what I'm doing, just so you know, guys know, because this is why there won't be a completed one for a while, is I'm spraying silver, washing with Nuln Oil, and then the weapons are getting a further 5 to 6 washes of Nuln Oil, and it creates a really nice effect. Then I'm painting all the armor panels Cantor blue.
Cantor blue, yeah.
And other little bits, like the Immortals have got white stripes down through the faces and stuff like that. Once all that's done, they'll then get a highlight stroke dry brush of maybe Necron Compound, probably Stormhost Silver, because I actually find that dry brush is better than the Necron Compound, because the Necron Compound can be really funny.
Yeah.
Once I've had that, or maybe before I've had that dry brush, whichever way around, I can't remember which way I've written the scheme, I'll then wash with Nuln Oil Gloss.
We'll have to do like a fade to black here, and then like 4 hours later, and then fade back in again. It's just like you're going free.
Anyway, then there's blue highlights, orange pipes, and essentially the end part is all the glows. Rather than using the green rods, I've stuck them all in and sprayed them, and they're going to have a sun type, like an orangey yellow glow to them with an airbrush. Yeah, with an airbrush.
Yeah.
So there's no point painting an Immortal, getting the airbrush out. I've finished one Necron and then putting it all back away again. I might as well wait till I've got a batch to do the airbrushing on.
The only way to do, I was going to say a large number of models. You've got 20 models in your 1,000 points?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27?
Yeah, it's quite a small army.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get that to the standard where it all needs airbrushing.
Batch painting is the way to do it. Yeah, totally. I mean, you'd never do it if you just painted one to entirety and then I've done that one.
So that's Necron Watch. So it's progressing. That's the important part.
It is progressing. Yeah, you've really made a meal of that. But yeah, it's progressing.
Yeah, right. Okay, we've done that part. With fresh coffee, we're back to talk about the now main topic, because actually the last one we did was a long old video because we did 2 topics, so we might slim it down to 1, and actually that makes it easier because we can do a topic each time and we've got more videos.
That is literally rubbish, and you know it.
What?
Because you're going to go on and on and on and on and on, because you've got so much to say about it, so much to say all the time about everything. There's no way it's going to be trimmed down. You're just going to be like, well, I don't need to hurry up because there's only one topic today, so I'll just keep going.
And this today is all about me.
Yeah. Well, my favourite.
Yeah, literally the reason why I'm here. But basically, I wanted to do a bit of a special, kind of, and cover No Retreat and No Retreat 7 run by SM Battle Reports.
I'm looking forward to this, to be fair. There's a lot of information that you've got.
What an event. So before SM Battle Reports and No Retreat 7, before I went there, I'd heard a lot of good stuff about it. So John from Physicast had been before.
Yeah.
Winters had been before. He went to No Retreat 4. I've spoken to Lawrence from Tabletop Tactics who'd been.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of hype about it already before I even applied. So I made the decision to apply this time round because I had armies that qualified, not painted by me, but I had armies that qualified. And that's important. You don't need to paint them yourself. And the reason why I say armies that qualified is for those of you that don't know, starting right from the very beginning. SN isn't just an event you buy tickets to.
No.
So SN you have to apply to. You have to apply to No Retreat. And basically they have 41 spaces normally. The reason why 41 is because the 42nd space is given to the winner of the previous event.
Okay.
So the winner of the previous event always gets to come back.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way it should be, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's 41 spaces, and what they do is they allow everyone to apply. Applying is simple-ish, but can be really nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So you have to supply pictures of your painted models.
Sure, yeah.
Because they expect a certain standard.
Well, that's what they're known for as well, isn't it? Their battle reports.
They are gold. So. They're platinum standard. They're not even gold standard. They're platinum standard. Their stuff.
Yeah.
The way the visual look of what they've got is, and what we'll try and put on the screen behind us as well, because I've asked Steve for some photos, is images of the tables and the armies and stuff like that. Because he's got loads of images from the weekend. They had a photographer there. Anyway, so you have to have a certain painting standard. Then you apply with the armies that you're prepared to submit. You have to supply them with a write-up about yourself, about your hobby background throughout your life. Honestly, they want the whole package. Honest to God.
They want your blood type.
Yeah. So they were asking me basically about when I started in the hobby, how my hobby developed, all that kind of stuff. And if you do things like this on YouTube, they want to know all about that kind of stuff. They're just interested in everybody's hobby background. At which point this year they had 120 something applications, and they have to get it down to 41.
Wow,
and
that's hard.
Steve says it's one of his least favourite parts.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they sit there with these applications and go, who do we invite?
Is this like in The Apprentice? They got everyone's faces on the table. You know, like that. No.
And he said to us, we were
too
chatting
ugly,
to him
too pretty. Yeah.
The middle DZHQ, we did 3 Deployment Zone HQ videos, which was me and Winters talking, but we did 3 specials for No Retreat, a pre, in between, and a post. And the in between, we did an interview with Steve. On SM Battle Reports, and we were chatting to him off camera as well. And he says that's the horriblest part of the whole thing.
Yeah, the selection process.
Once that selection process is out of the way, there's still a lot of stress involved, but it's not quite so horrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you've done that selection process and you've been selected via live video, they don't just tell you. You have to wait till a live video and sit there going, have a bit. It's like
which was a great video as well. It's so cool.
It's like waiting for the lottery numbers.
Yeah.
Horrible. Anyway, so then you get selected and you get put into a WhatsApp group. And you do this WhatsApp group up until the event, which is amazing. And one of the reasons why that's amazing is because you literally get to know everyone before you even get there.
Yeah, which I think is really cool as well. Saves a lot of like potential awkwardness when you arrive and stuff. So.
And so the Friday we flew out to Gibraltar from Heathrow. And we got there. We were the last to arrive in fashion. Winters and I and a guy
must have done your head in.
A guy called a guy called Ian from Imperium Gaming. So the 3 of us arrived on the Friday late. They pick you up from the airport if you land at Gib. They take you to the retreat centre, and it is literally on the edge of the nature reserve in Gibraltar. Again, I'm hoping there'll be pictures.
Yeah.
And it's what a glorious place. And you go into the building, and as you go in, there's the welcome table, and there's banners everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's
Winters has already put up a short video of a kind of, this is the place, this is the tables.
So for how it looks, go to Winters SEO and check out the No Retreat 7 behind the scenes video that he did.
Yeah, do that.
10 minutes?
Yeah, it's quite a quick video, but it's good. It's good.
Because he doesn't waffle like I do.
Yeah.
It was stunning. There's 3 gaming rooms with multiple tables in each. They supply you trays. Upstairs is the rooms where you go and sleep, basically. So you sleep there. The SN staff,
it's like a commune.
Some of the SN staff sleep there.
Yeah.
They're on call 24 hours a day. So
Amazing.
for example, the Saturday, played a load of games, 3 tournament games. They then organised a multi-table sort of restaurant event down at an Italian in the town centre. And the 40 of us went down to Saturday Italian. And then we came back and went, let's play some more games. Why not?
Yeah.
So we were playing till 3 in the morning, and they were still stood behind the till, serving beers and Coke and then that guy went. So I went to bed before I saw the SN guy leave. Shaggy, shout out, he's a legend. And then I got up the next morning, came down for breakfast, and half an hour he comes walking back in. I'm like, have you gone anywhere?
Yeah.
Nope, slept at the event. Wonderful. So you proper get pampered for the whole weekend.
Yeah, I mean that is serious commitment, isn't it?
It's amazing. And they've just said that they're going to do GTs at the early part of the year and do no retreats at the end part of the year. And one of the reasons why Steve's excited about the GTs is because he just sells a ticket. And that's the part. That's it. And then it's game day. Set the tables up.
Just turn up.
Whereas this is a whole weekend, and they supply you with your own custom cup. You've got your own T-shirt,
which I've not seen you use. Are you keeping it nice?
I used it on Friday when we filmed when we filmed the podcast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's in the dishwasher now because I've used it all weekend, and it's growing legs. What you also get when you get invited is you get an invite comes out in a little box. You've probably seen some YouTubers who've done some announcement videos.
Reveals and unboxings.
Dog tags and dice and fudges and
confetti.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So the event was really interesting. Yeah. And the reason why I want to talk about the event is because we're a narrative channel predominantly, and DZ is a narrative website predominantly. And what was very, very interesting about SM Battle Reports is No Retreat is a statement that Winters said. And the reason why I bring it up is because Winters basically said, I don't do tournaments, I refuse.
Yeah.
Apart from No Retreat.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, why would a person like that, who's so dead against tournaments, be happy to go to No Retreat?
Yeah.
And having been to that event now, I see why. It's
not.
Because he came third with Imperial Knights. It's not a normal tournament.
No, definitely not. No.
And so there's restrictions, for example. So when you build your list, they heavily restrict, and we have spoke to Steve about why he did this. You can only take 2 detachments to start with.
Yes.
Your first detachment has to be a brigade or battalion, unless you're an Imperial Knight player.
Yeah.
In which case it's a super heavy detachment. Sure. So you have to do that. Your second detachment can be any of the other detachments. Can't be a Supreme Command detachment because that stops that silliness.
Yeah.
And that's that. It's single source, essentially, codex for the most part. Some armies have some exceptions.
Yeah.
For example, Chaos Space Marine armies, if they have all one god,
they
can take a demon detachment, patrol detachment
of
the same god. Imperial players can take a super heavy auxiliary detachment of an Imperial Knight, for example. Okay. So they're fluffy additions.
Yeah, restricting it to make sure that the armies that are coming are diverse for narrative reasons rather than face smashing reasons.
The other thing they do is if you take your main detachment, say your main detachment is a battalion of Space Marines for argument's sake.
Yeah.
And your Raven Guard. So you get your Raven Guard benefits across your whole Space Marine detachment. If you then take a super heavy auxiliary detachment of an Imperial Knight and you pick House Hawk Shroud, you don't get the Hawk Shroud benefit.
Right.
You don't get it. Same with demons. You take a Chaos Space Marine detachment of World Eaters, like I did, and you get your +1 attack on the charge. And you take a patrol detachment of Khorne demons. You don't get the demon benefit. You only get the one, and I actually really like that as a rule.
Yeah. Okay.
They do allow you to use the stratagems from your auxiliaries, etc.
Okay.
Then there was the so there was that to start with. That's very narrative in itself. Getting rid of the Supreme Commander all behind, it was amazing. The armies have obviously got to be painted to a very high standard as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the tables were phenomenal. The missions were very ITC type based. If you don't know ITC, essentially you get a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary objective.
Yeah.
And what they did, which was really nice, is they just plucked them from the rule book. So your primary was an Eternal War mission.
Yeah.
Your secondary was a Maelstrom mission.
Yeah.
And your tertiary was your Slay the Warlord, First Strike, and Linebreaker.
What's First Strike?
So First Blood, as most of you probably know, is you kill a unit first, you get a point. First Strike changes, if you kill a unit in your first turn, you get a point. So both of you can achieve it.
Oh, I see.
So if you go first with a kicking list, and you kill a unit of mine, you would in normal 40k get First Blood, and there's nothing I can do
and you
about
wouldn't be able to get a point. Yeah.
What it allows me to do then is
to do the
fight
same.
back and get a point myself. So I like First Strike, and I'm a big fan of First Strike, and it's something that I'd actually like to see changed in the main rulebook actually. But the other thing that was amazing about the event is the way in which people played, and I mean that for a multitude of reasons. So, firstly, what was incredible was I've been to events and tournaments where you stand there opposite your player and you're playing and you make a mistake and you don't see the mistake because you're playing.
Okay.
And he'll see your mistake.
Yeah.
And they'll stand there silently. And I'm not saying people shouldn't do this because it's a tournament.
You're there to win, aren't you?
Of course. But they'll stand there silently, they'll keep their mouth shut, you'll make said mistake, you'll move on to the next phase and the next phase, and then you might realise and they'll go, sorry mate, you've moved on.
Too late.
Yeah. And again, it's a tournament. I'm not saying these players are wrong
No.
or that they're particularly not very nice people.
It's not your responsibility to make sure your opponent knows what they're doing.
100%. But at SN, that doesn't happen. It's incredible. They will talk to you not even about mistakes you're making, but about tactics.
Yeah.
Your opponent will say, instead of doing that, have you thought about doing this instead because of X, Y, and Z? And you're going, oh no, I hadn't.
Oh, I can do that.
That's much better. And they're helping you beat them there and then. I mean, I say helping them beat them. I didn't do much beating, but they're helping you beat them there and then in front of, and that's amazing in itself. And then the other big noticeable difference was that people were playing the objectives and playing to win the missions, and some people more than others. Some people definitely wanted that no retreat crown.
Sure.
But a lot of others were like, I know this is what it's telling me to do on the primary mission, but it doesn't make narrative sense, so I'm not doing it.
That was you, wasn't it?
It was me a lot. Yeah. There was a lot of, I was starting with an objective, I need to hold this objective.
Berserkers don't stand still.
Exactly. But that was actually, I know I did it for a moment, but that was actually across the board.
Yeah.
And that's incredible as an event. And it just makes it all about the hobby. And SN have got a sort of a motto that is, may the hobby be the winner.
Yeah,
and that is definitely true.
That's a great motto.
Yeah, it is a great motto, and it certainly is true of that event specifically. The hobby is the winner there because you spend your morning, noon, and night. Your whole every waking minute is a hobby. Talking about the hobby, playing the hobby, and it sounds like it could be overload. And a little part of me was mildly concerned. So I live and breathe this hobby. Hence, I've got a YouTube channel and a website, and I'm just always doing something to the hobby, much to my wife's disgust. I live and breathe it, and a little part of me was mildly concerned that a whole weekend of 24/7 hobby might be too much.
You might get jaded.
It wasn't. I came back and genuinely had the Gibraltar blues because I wanted to go back. It is that good.
You have been miserable all week.
I've been a horrible person for 5 or 6 days, and it's just the fact that you can walk, and because of the WhatsApp group as well, you can walk in there and you can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Anyone at all.
And you already know them a bit.
And you start talking hobby.
Yeah.
So I took the Eternal Slaughter, which is my Chaos Khorne warband.
Yeah.
Essentially, Berserkers, Rhinos, Mauler Fiends, some characters, and I took a Renegade Knight as well.
World Eaters by any other name?
Yeah, World Eaters. And on the first podcast, we talked about how I thought I was going to get, decimated essentially.
It's a nice way of putting it.
And then I had some hope after the first game.
Yeah.
Actually.
I was shocked, surprised.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were. I was actually.
I think everyone was.
As a welcome to the weekend. I mean, we turned up on the Friday. We did a little bit of filming. We did a lot of interacting and socialising and chatting to people. A lot of people came and spoke to both me and Winters, which was really nice because of what we've been doing this year and how much it's changed.
Sure.
So we didn't play any games on the Friday. Game 1 on the Saturday was the greatest introduction to an event I think I've ever had. So I played a guy called Nick Teague. Absolute legend. I'm going to see, he lives I think South London area. I'm going to try and get him on the channel on DZ because he just, what a guy to play. And we played Eternal War was No Mercy, so kill everything, suits me, I'm Corn.
Perfect.
Can't remember what the secondary was. I think it was Tactical Escalation, where you get a card, then 2 cards, and 3 cards.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine.
If I remember rightly. And he bought Thousand Suns with a Chaos flyer detachment.
Yes.
And I was concerned.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything that can shoot flyers.
No guns.
And he had
how many guns did you have in your army? 4?
I had 3 combi bolters on Rhinos.
And a
one combi melter on my Dark Apostle. 1 bolt pistol on my Get Desperate in it. Exalted Champion. Grenades on my Berserkers, and then my thermal spear, not my thermal spear, my melter cannon, thermal cannon on my Renegade Knight.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course you had your Knight, didn't you? Yeah.
And because he had 3 Forge World flyers, so the 2 little Hell Talons and the big bomber thing, I was like, oh no. What again? And it got to the end of turn 7. And
went all the way to 7.
At the end of turn 6, I think it was, I was winning the primary. There's 4 objectives. Okay. I was winning the primary, and I had a knight still on 1 objective with a single wound.
Amazed he lasted that. 6 turns.
I am. Turn 7. He did some epic things. So turn 7, he removed that model from the board to draw the primary. Okay. At that point, I thought I'd lost the mission until we counted up our secondary points, and I was just 2 points ahead of him, and it was just euphoria. At the end
so you robbed him.
Yeah, and at the end of the weekend,
his pocket.
You have to pick a favourite opponent. And it was Nickel I picked. At the end of the weekend, he came up to me and went, "That was the greatest game I had all weekend." It was just back and forth from some epic things. An Exalted Sorcerer with his crazy relic sword tried to charge my Imperial Knight and got blown off the board in Overwatch from a thermal cannon. That knight went marching across the board, and every time I fly over the top, it went boom. There's another one gone, and I was like, "What is going on?" It was unbelievable.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like those really close. We've said this before. I think the really close matchups. They're the ones that you remember and are the most fun. But in terms of a tournament, they're the least effective because when you table someone, you get maximum points. Yeah. And that's the way you want to. You're going to win a tournament. It's just by pasting.
Well, the guy who won, who we'll talk about in a minute, got 5. So to win, you get points. So you get points for your primary, points for your secondary, points for your tertiary. Mm-hmm. If you win all 3 and your opponent gets nothing, you get 28 points. Yeah. And the person who won the tournament got 5 28-0s. So you've got to go some to keep up with him. Not only did you get 5 28-0s, but there's like another caveat at the bottom, which is how many points of your opponent you destroy. Right. I can't remember what they call them, something points. And basically, obviously, if you table your opponent, you get 1750 points. Okay. He had 5 1750 points. Wow. Yeah. So he wasn't losing that event. No. But against Nick, I won by 2 points, and I killed 1,500 and something points, 1,000 Suns, and he killed 1,600 and something points a world. It was one of those games. It was amazing. Yeah. And things happened, like, when I got to his lines, I took out his Hellforged Leviathan, and I hit his lines with Berserkers and my Dark Apostle and my Demon Prince, etc. And do you know what I came up against, which I never expected? Ahriman. Yeah. Oh my God. Ahriman got charged by a Demon Prince and a Mauler Fiend, and he bitch slapped both of them. Ahriman. So I'm a World Eaters player with a melee Demon Prince getting beaten by a Sorcerer, and then which is just rubbing salt in the wounds. And then I charged in some Berserkers, and after Overwatch, etc., I had something like 5 Berserkers left. So Ahriman cast some sort of super smite, and they were all dead. And then it was unbelievable, mate. Yeah. And basically, then my Dark Apostle and Exalted Champion decided to go and fight him because they're good at fighting characters. Yeah, yeah. No, they're not. They died. Oh my God. And then finally, my Imperial Knight stamped on him, and that was him dead. Jesus Christ!
Monty Python did.
Oh, Ahriman was man of the match by a country mile. But as an event introduction, I stood back from that and went, "Wow, that's amazing." Second game, I played a much tougher list, unfortunately.
How did that go?
It wasn't so much fun. I played a guy called Tank. He had a Raven Guard list with a Knight Acheron.
That's the skinny one.
The giant flamer and the big chainsaw thing.
Yeah. He's the tall, skinny one, isn't
he? And he run that into the middle of the field, and I went, ooh! So I charged everything out and ate it and killed it.
Yeah.
And then he blew it up with a command point and killed everything. And I went, oh no. Not so much fun. Yeah. So he ended up getting, I think, he didn't table me, but he got close to. He basically got 20-0 in the end, and I was close all the way to the end of the game. I think we were level pegging on some of the things, and then he just pulled away right at the very end. So again, an excellent game.
Yeah.
Turn 3, I played Hendrik Muller and his Dark Angels.
Okay.
What a fun game that was.
Yeah.
He's a crazy German. He's a crazy German.
We love our crazy Germans.
He took a drop pod with tactical marines for a tournament.
Really?
Yeah, crazy German.
Wow. That's brave.
So I beat him. I beat him on primary and secondary. That's when I went charging off of objectives to go and eat Marines. And then game 4 and 5 on the Sunday was horrific. I think I'd performed much better than I expected the list to. And I think I performed much better than the list was actually capable of. Because game 4 I played Neanderthal Elder Army and got tabled. And game 5 I played a Dark Elder Cabal of the Black Heart Army and got tabled. So that's how that went.
Yeah, okay. Well, those, well, not the Yandam, but the Cabal of the Black Heart is a pretty sort of power listy type.
I've told you the list, right?
Yeah.
And it was a good list. And unfortunately, it was a very hard counter to my list.
Yeah.
Because it was very, very quick. Lots of high strength.
Quick and shooty.
Lots of absolute decimate marine type stuff as well. Yeah. Not much I could have done about that.
No.
And the analyst was the same. He was a very good player actually as well. Lee Dignam, his name was, very, very good player.
I'll have to look that list up. I don't think I've seen that one.
The Andon list.
Yeah.
So essentially, I loved the list actually. And the second I finished playing him, I was on Battlescribe because it was just this is it doesn't look that amazing, but really effective list. And he had a Seer on a bike and a Warlock on foot. He then had 20 Guardians with 2 heavy weapons platforms.
Okay.
2 squads of 5 Rangers.
Sure.
2 squads of 6 Wraith Guard with D-sides. 2 Wave Serpents. 2 Hemlock Wraith Fighters. And I think there may have been something else. That's the crux of the list anyway.
Yeah.
And it was just amazingly effective. Amazingly effective. In turn 1, for example.
So why Eandon?
Because he's got loads of Ghost Warrior.
Just because
Because
okay.
it's Eandon.
Yeah,
this is what I love about the event.
I mean, I suppose I'm asking that question because normally it's a Latok, and everyone goes, oh, it's a Latok, and it'll be painted yellow.
So the most effective build for his list probably might be probably wouldn't be a Latok. And the reason why I say that is because the Hemlocks have a 16-inch range, okay? So they're going to want to get close to you to start launching their stuff, and they're going to want to smite as well. Guardians have a 12-inch range. The Wraith Flames have an 8-inch range. So his army
very close range.
Wants to be close range.
Yeah.
So by being a Yandin, things like his Wave Serpents and his Hemlocks count their wounds as doubles.
Yeah.
Because it's not just Wraith constructs that get that.
No,
that
it's
bonus.
Everything with a higher bracket, is it?
Yeah. So
is it everything with a higher bracket?
Everything with
over 10 wounds.
Yeah. It basically counts as double.
Yeah.
Amazingly, so he did things like the classic Eldar combo. He had Falshu's wing on his Warlock, which means he can essentially fly in advance. So he'd fly him 12 inches forward and advance him, and then jinx something.
Yes.
And then Farseer would doom it, and then the Farseer would guide something he wants to hit, and then just opens up. And that's how he took my Knight out in the first turn without any problems at all.
Yeah.
And as soon as he took that down, and then focused on my Demon Prince and did the same to him, I was knackered.
Yeah.
And it was a turkey shoot.
Taking chunks out of you.
And because those Hemlocks are so fast, and they can just go, that side of the board, nuke that side of the board, nuke that, and they've got the...
Oh, it's because they can turn twice, can't they?
the Vector Dancer as well.
Do 90 degrees at the start of the movement and 90 degrees at the end as well.
So. Very effective list.
Yeah.
Very good list. But the more important part of that was very well played list.
Absolutely,
he knew his army inside out, and that was impressive. 5 games, lost 3. That was just the normal games, it wasn't the friendlies.
Yeah.
5 incredible games.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I would urge absolutely anybody who's thinking about going to no retreat or even apply. Just give it a go. Because the standard's amazing. And the thing is, they do like a high painting standard, but that's not that. We spoke to Steve, that's not the be all and end all.
No, sure.
If you've got 2 guys, and you've got one guy who's got an incredible painting standard, and he's got a normal list you see at tournaments.
Yeah.
And you've got another guy whose painting standard is slightly lower than that guy, but he's got something different, something interesting. They'll pick the second guy.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's interesting.
Yeah.
They like different stuff.
Cool.
So just if you're in that bracket and you don't think your painting's quite the incredible standard, apply. Just give it a go.
Yeah, have a shot in the dark. Why not?
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
You get told no.
You get turned down.
Yeah.
Like 2/3 of everyone who applies.
And if so far, and if not, you can still go to the GT Experience Gibraltar and play on the big fancy table. The tables were something special.
They do look great.
The awards were special.
And really varied as well. It's not like there's like 5 of this kind, 5 of that kind. They
have 21 gaming tables. Every single one is different.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Like really different.
And some of them are just different, league different. They would look... they would look phenomenal on a battle report, for example.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason, isn't it? Because they're written battle reports online, so it's all photographic, isn't it? So everything's got to look really great in a really high definition photo.
I probably should mention that actually. SM Battle Report started as a battle report company, hence it's called SM Battle Reports. But they don't do video battle reports like we do. They do written battle reports like the old White Dwarf. So essentially, they have a camera. They take photos as they play a game, and they do a write-up, and their write-up is pure narrative. It's like a story.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And they have SM Plus, so you can pay £2 or £3 to read even more. But they do a lot of free ones every month as well.
Yeah.
So that's
you certainly get a taster of each one as well, don't you?
You get a taster of all the paid for ones.
Free,
yeah. Now the army that won. This is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I know a bit about the list.
This talks volumes for the event.
Yeah,
the army that
very
won
different to what you'd expect.
Was Tau.
For starters, interesting.
Yeah, because they're not necessarily. They're doing okay in the tournament scene, but they're not sweeping the tournament scene like they did a bit in 7th.
Generally regarded, I think, as gatekeeper lists. So they're the kind of ones they'll go like, say, they'll get 3 and 2. They'll go 3 wins, 2 losses, or 4 wins, 1 loss. Yeah. They'll get nearly to the top tables, and there'll be those sorts of lists that perform well, but they never get up to the top tables.
Yeah, certainly, and that's for lists that are, for want of a better word, optimised, right?
Yeah,
so you're picking the best things from the codex and maybe taking 3 of that best thing, etc.
Yeah.
Now this guy, Lewis Elms, his name is. I'm going to give him a shout out. When you look at the list at the start, I'm gonna be honest. You look at the list at the start of the game, you think that's strong, that's strong, that's strong. And Lewis's Tau.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to lose 5 games by any stretch of the imagination.
No,
but you look at it and go, that's a decent list.
Yeah,
And then he went and smashed every opponent, got 5 28-0 victories, and got 5 tablings.
Yeah.
Wow.
So talk a bit about his list then. What's in it?
So Lewis had, I don't think any unit was duplicated with the exception of perhaps troops.
Troops, yeah.
So he had a commander with 4 fusion blasters. He had a Fireblade and an Ethereal, I believe. There was a Storm Surge. There was no Riptides. There was no Broadsides. There was a Ghost Kill.
No Yavara.
There was no Yavara. He didn't take any Forge Well. There was a Devilfish. There was a Sunshark Bomber, I think they're called.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was some stealth suits, some Pathfinders. It was just. I'll try and get the actual list and maybe link it in the video.
We'll have a look at it. Yeah.
Because I'll message him later and see if he's got it. But it was just an all-round list.
Honestly, sounds like it's just a bit kind of like just a sort of flick through the codex, going that.
It was a fluffy, definitely a fluffy list. It was the sort of list that you would take to a friendly game every day of the week.
Sure.
And if someone turned up to play me, if I said to them, "We're going to play a narrative battle report and film it for the channel," and they turn up with that list, I would be so happy because
you could play your Blood Angels.
Don't be that guy. But I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, totally. I know what you're saying.
And he smashed it.
Yeah, evidently. He won with a completely perfect record. So.
He played Mikey Herbert in the final. Mikey runs Hellstorm Wargaming. Check them out as another YouTube channel. They do epic battle reports. He live streams on Twitch.
Definitely, yeah. Check him out.
Really good guy. He's a legend as well, and he's gonna get involved in a DZ tournament we're running later on next year. Anyway, he played him in the final, and Mikey took Blood Ravens as Raven Guard and had 2 Leviathans, so he was that guy. And he tabled Mikey as well in the final.
Yeah.
And I like to keep reminding Mikey that's the second time he's been in the final and lost and then not even finished in the top 3. Just because I like to be that guy as well.
So harsh.
And that's with his normal. I did look at the matchups that some of the matchups that Lewis had and thought, you're in trouble here, mate.
Yeah, difficult ones.
Nope. And it goes to prove at that particular event that if you are a good general and you have average to good dice, you can win that tournament.
It's not just about having the right tools; it's knowing how to use them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. I mean, the list isn't always the most important thing, It comes down to how well you play it as well.
Exactly, that's why I came 37th, 42.
Mistakes were made, lessons were learned.
But I won 2, lost 3, and something like 8th position, or whatever, or something like that.
2 wins better than we thought you'd do.
It's definitely 2 wins better than it. Yeah, 47th is like 5 places higher than I thought I'd come.
Yeah.
But Winters and I did a prediction before the event started, and we predicted that I would finish bottom 3rd. Because I was just confident that's where I would come look at the list, and that was right. We predicted
as nice as your army is, and as fun and as fluffy, it's not competitive.
It's not, and with the exception of the last game, which I think took him 3 or 4 turns to kick my back doors in, every other game was still 5, 6, 7 turns, and a couple of them, not the last 2, but the middle one as well, that could have been a 3rd win-ish maybe.
Yeah. If
he hadn't have got lucky with that exploding knight, maybe he'd have been in trouble.
And I think that's testament to the fact that you know your army well. And you have played quite a few games with it, and you've played a lot of games of 40k, so you do actually know how to play the game. That's the closest thing you're going to get to a compliment.
That's the closest I've ever got.
Pretty much ever.
I'm gonna frame that little bit of clip and keep it playing over and over and over again forever. That's the nicest it gets.
You've got to cling on to these things.
I do have to, yeah. So that's the event. Like I said, hopefully we'll show loads of pictures behind, as long as Steve gets them through to me. It's incredible. Sure. Apply. Check out SM Battle Reports on the website and read their battle reports. They're awesome. I can't watch, for example, Winters watches YouTube at work in his lunch break and stuff. Yeah. I can't do that, so I read them on my iPad. I read through the battle reports, and they are really, really good. Yeah. Steve and the team are unbelievable. The work that they put in for the hobby community is absolutely unbelievable.
If you go to the website and look and read some of these battle reports, like the passion, dedication totally shines through.
It does. And they have a dedicated team, Steve, Chris, Julian, Nick, Shaggy. I'm going to give them all shout outs. I've probably missed some of them. And over the course of the weekend, wives and girlfriends turn up to serve sandwiches, and they do things like walk around and take your order for lunch, and you have hot burgers turn up and pizzas. It was just unbelievable. It's just a complete weekend of hobby that I don't think you can get bored of. And every single person that came home was a little bit sad to come home.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was amazing. So check out those guys. Check out their website. I'll link it below. They've got a Patreon page like we have. It's important that I push these guys because I just think what they're doing for the hobby is amazing. And you want to go back. You want this tournament to keep going. They're a platinum level event run by the gold standard of hobby for me. Yeah, world class. They're amazing. Absolute world class. Yeah. So fair play to them. Steve's an absolute legend, and we're hoping to have them over here sometime soon as well. Oh, that'd be cool. Those guys have said they'll come over and play some games for channels and get involved in tournaments and stuff. So awesome. Amazing event. You might have questions about SM. If you've got questions about them, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Me or Mike can obviously answer. I went, but Mike knows a lot about what happened and what have you. So we've talked a lot. I've so feel free to absorbed as much of the media about it as I can. So feel free to drop them below, and we'll comment as best we can on the website. On the SN Battle Reports website, there is a No Retreat 7 roundup. It also covers the fact that Lawrence Baker took Grey Knights as well. Yeah. That was bold. And came 13th out of 42 with Grey Knights. Yeah. It's impressive. Yeah. Very it's like playing with one hand behind your back, isn't it? It was. So, yeah. He had a good old guy. He even played Winters' Knights. Winters was that guy and took Imperial Knights. Yeah. 3 big knights, 2 little knights. And he did table Lawrence in game 4, but it was at the end when he finally got rid of Drago. Yeah. Lawrence had a good old go at him, and it was impressive to watch him fight. Yeah. Clash of the Titans there, right? Yeah. It was one of those that we were talking the night before the event so I played Chris Shepherd, who's one of the SM boys, that night, the Saturday night, and tabled him. I'll just get that one out there, just because no one likes Chris. And then they were talking to us about the pairings the next day. They said, you're going to think we've staged it, some of the pairings. We haven't. You're going to think we have, but we haven't. And when the pairings came out the next morning and Winters was playing Norwich, it's like, you have staged that, definitely. They say they didn't. Yeah, right? Okay. Anyway, amazing event. Like I say, check out their website. We'll link everything, or as much as I can, below. And I think that's it. I don't think we'll go into too much more detail. If you want some more detail, ask some questions. Yeah, of course. So thanks for watching this. We've got a couple more of these 2 big one chat videos out. Check them out. Like I said before, check out the podcast. Don't forget the competition. So there will have been a Patreon link on the screen. There'll be a Patreon link in the video description below. Check us out on Patreon. Come and join us. Please join us. please come and join us. And like
that was a bit creepy.
Yeah, it's the intention.
Okay.
That will appeal to some people.
Yeah, okay.
So, like I say, as little as $2 a month to come and join our community and join the Discord and be involved in the events and the community events and stuff.
You won't regret it.
That's amazing.
Unless you talk to Richie too much.
Yeah, of course. And no one likes him. We've also got deploymentzone.tv as a website. Check that out. That's me and Winters from Winters SEO, kicking out battle reports every single week, every Tuesday. It's on demand, so you pay for it, but there's a lot of content on there. There's Winters top tips, there's DZHQs, which is Winters and I sit and talks, there's behind the scenes stuff, there's merchandise and all that kind of stuff.
Battle report every week.
Yeah, every Tuesday. I'm currently working on a gallery for it. The DZ dice are now out, and I've got to...
The dice are cool, I like them.
The dice are amazing.
Yeah.
I've got to put them on the website. There's lots of work going on there, and there's lots more work planned for that. There's a campaign currently ongoing between Winters SEO and Say Hi Paul called the Galmec Incident.
So good.
He won't tell me what happens. I have to wait and watch the video.
I know.
It's my damn website.
It's the second time you've mentioned that on film or on audio, and yeah, I know. Eating you alive inside, isn't it?
Yeah. What annoys me is, and the thing is, because also I run the website. He won't upload them.
No.
Because he knows I'll go.
What? Straight away.
So check those out. Like Mike said, battle report every week. Finally, penultimately, a massive thank you to our sponsors from Element Games. They're supplying us with this big box for the competition, and they supply us with lots and lots of new stuff. They're amazing sponsors.
Yeah,
they're probably going to be the hosts for our DZTV tournament next year as well. So big thank you to Element Games, absolute legends there.
Yeah.
And then the final one, which is important that I say this every single time now, is a big thank you to all the patrons of Moarhammer and the patrons of the channel. You guys are awesome, and we've stepped this level up and gone professional and put all this effort in because of you, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the feedback you've given us, and because you're such awesome guys, that we want to give you decent, regular content.
Yeah, we just want to keep this going because we have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you guys have a lot of fun, and let the fun continue.
And the community is amazing. And we've just done a complete Discord overhaul, right?
Yeah. So now you can level up.
That took some work.
Yeah.
So there's now bots in there that auto-update videos, and you can level up, and there's all different categories, and whatever patron level you come out at, it shows you that, and you get your own colour, and there's just loads going on in there now.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like I said, $2 will allow you to try it.
Yeah.
And if you try it and you don't like it, you can leave straight away.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And that's it. Perfect, that's that. Anything you want to say before we go?
I don't think so, no.
You sure?
Nothing particular.
Right, okay.
No. Can't think of anything.
So I've done a lot of talking because it was about No Retreat, but next time we'll cover one of Mike's topics. There you go, pressure's on. So stay.
It's okay, I'm the organised one.
You are the organiser.
So I'll have some notes prepared.
I've got a notebook now.
Yeah, you have. Yeah,
you see my notebook?
I've seen you write half a page in it.
Yeah, that's half a page more than I probably ever would have done before.
See, I am having an impact.
You are.
Doesn't feel like it at times.
Yeah. So check out our previous videos. Please look out for our next ones. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Love you, bye.